believe in other people now. We love, so slow down.
3, 2, 1.
Damn, that's slow. Sick. Welcome to roundtable number 2.
Yeah, this is number 2?
Yeah.
This is 3.
It feels like 7. I feel like
Oh yeah, we did do like 1 where we talked.
Also, who started the series? Let's do like a quick overview of what this series is.
Yeah, so we are doing roundtables because all of us come from different creative backgrounds, and I think that like part of the magic of this community is in our conversations together, because we all come from such different mindsets and like how we approach life. And yeah, we want to share that with people. And for me personally, when I would be on lunch break at work, I would love watching creatives talk, and it just kind of felt like a friendship, like a parasocial little thing. And I hope that we can provide that feeling for people too, and they can feel a sense of community that we have found with each other.
We'll be the new Just Kidding News. Show off our dynamics.
The awkward laughter.
Those are some big shoes to fill.
Those are really big shoes to fill.
Because they're still active. I keep thinking they're gone, but
no, they're thriving. Yeah, they're like, who are these people? How dare they use our name?
Bart, you're in Vegas. Come through. Yeah. All right. Well, today we also have a special guest, Amanda Schanz. Want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yes, I'm Amanda Schanz. You know. I just moved to Vegas. You guys just moved to Vegas though, right? Or how long ago?
Like 8 months.
I moved here a month, or almost 2 months ago, from Chicago. I've been doing YouTube for 3 years now, and TikTok for 2 years, and that's how long I've been active in the creative world. And I've never really collabed with anybody. I've had my friends and videos, and you know, that was cool. But it's different when it's other people who really understand where you're coming from and like the importance of a video and why everything matters so much.
Yeah.
Wait, so how long did it take you to gain the following that you had
On TikTok?
Yeah.
Not very long.
What's up?
I know. Like a month and a half, 2 months.
Wow.
I don't want to discredit myself, but I don't want to like overly credit myself, because I literally, that's all I was doing with my life. Nothing else was done. Every single day was the same routine. I was just putting content out, pumping it out, like no matter what it was. I'd scroll, find a video that's doable, and that's it. Like that, I would be done like maybe 100 times.
How many videos did you put out a day?
About like 10. 10 TikToks every day. I thought that was like too much, but a lot of other people would tell me it's too much, but I was like, it's getting me the results that, and like on top of it, the whole purpose was like, I literally don't know what to do with my life. Like it's quarantine.
Yeah.
So that's how long it took me. And then that got me some YouTube subscribers. So I have like 2,000 something on YouTube now. A lot of those came from TikTok. Yeah, I'm kind of wanting to take a different approach now, because back then, like I said, it was just pumping out content and like trending, and that's great and that gives me followers, but I don't believe that they're sustainable, because if they were, my YouTube channel would have more subscribers.
Yeah.
Something for you, your personality.
Yeah, right, exactly.
More than just like trends and stuff like
Yeah, right, because TikTok was like the image and the, I don't know, like I said, just something to do and like really get out there in the creative world. And YouTube is more definitely my personality, which is what I really want to portray. Because
what kind of videos do you make on there?
On YouTube?
Yeah.
Right now I'm doing dancer vlogs, or I mean, that's something I just incorporated into my channel, just like people, so that they can see like into that life, because I'm definitely not the typical dancer. Like I'm just not, like I'm different. I'm weird. I'm creative. Yeah, all that. I take it seriously. And also just kind of like whatever inspiration comes up. So I have a lot of story times on there, which definitely is my strong suit, because I've seen a lot. Yeah. I've put myself in situations like I almost feel like it's on purpose sometimes, just so like this is gonna be a good story.
Yeah.
So,
do you have a quick example of a story that's gonna be like, we'll put it in the intro and be like,
all right,
Amanda shares a crazy story.
All right, this is a good one. So, oh my God. So I was in high school, and me and this girl, you know when you're like, you and someone have the same ex, and so then you're like pretend friends for a little bit? No, maybe just me?
All the time.
Just me.
Too
Well, you
often.
have something in common, so it's a good place to start.
Yeah.
So, no, but we really hated each other, though. But we did that pretend friend thing for like
Yeah.
a couple weeks maybe. And so we were planning to hang out, and I wanted my nose pierced, and she's like, I could do it. And I was like, okay.
Oh.
Right? Good one. I'm smart. So she comes over after school, and so I was like, because, you know, her older sister was a huge MUA or whatever. So I was like, she must know what she's doing, right? She might have some natural talent. So she's like, I'm going to do it with a safety pin. And I was like,
Oh my god.
okay, granted, I pierced like my quadruples with a safety pin when I was
That's an
like
earlobe.
13. Like, you know, I was like a little more grown now. I was like, I thought you were going to be more professional, but I could have done that. What the fuck? Like, I definitely could have done that. So I'm like, whatever. So she starts doing it. It's like literally the most painful thing ever. And we had the wrong nose ring. So we finally get through this painful process, and we have the wrong nose ring. So we can't even get the nose ring in there. And so we put an earring in there to hold its place while we go to the mall to grab the right thing, right? Okay. So we get the right nose ring, and then we have this dude driving us around, another guy that we fought over, but it's no big deal. So we pull. I know, right? Never got one. No, that's over. We honestly look alike too, which is like the weirdest thing ever. But, oh my god,
Strange.
that happens, right? That
Yeah,
totally
that
happens.
does,
Like,
yeah.
Like,
she was just a knockoff version of me.
Oh!
She said it.
Oh god, all right. It's the truth. But yeah, so we end up in this McDonald's bathroom with her trying to shove this thing in my nose. This is like 4 hours into it now. We're like 4 hours into the process, and I ended up being like, never mind, fuck this. Never mind.
You're in the
Are you
McDonald's
sure?
bathroom?
Yeah, in a McDonald's bathroom. Oh my god, I was crying. I was like, fuck this. She's like, are you sure? We're almost there. Like, we spent 4 hours in this process now. I was like, I don't even care. Nope. And I had scar tissue for like a few months.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, your nose looks great now, so no harm done.
We healed.
Was it one of these? Or
Oh yeah, it was one of these. Thank God it wasn't one of those. Oh my god. Yeah, it was right in
People
here.
usually do that with the safety pins. Just literally just like, let's just make a hole right here.
I'm assuming they don't usually.
I don't want to try. I don't want to try.
I don't recommend it. I've been through it, so
Did they
so yeah, I have a
also
nose
burn
piercing.
the tip? Like light up the tip?
Oh hell no! I think she iced it,
Yeah.
maybe.
You didn't disinfect
I
it.
didn't. When I pierced my own
That
ears,
sounds
though,
awful.
I didn't do anything though. I just put the safety pin in my ears,
You
like
just
when I
stabbed
did
yourself.
one time.
That
One,
doesn't
yeah,
sound
right.
very
One,
smart.
it's cool.
Oh, I can't wait to get our ears pierced.
Yeah, we were just talking about
We
it.
can do it for you. Yeah, there's two.
I'm not doing it. I
Right.
mean, yeah, we have a team here.
You can?
So I
Yeah.
should be able to work.
I mean, you just stab
Oh,
it
we have
through,
safety-
right?
we have safety
apple.
pins, right?
You put it behind and you just
Yeah, how would you wash
safety
those?
pins.
Yeah, how would you wash
Oh,
that
I
trap?
don't know.
You just, you know.
yeah, you add a towel, you put an apple there, and you just
towel?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you
Am I gonna get wet?
It's a.
What are you doing?
3 minute story turns into a 3 hour ear piercing party.
Oh, dang.
We're gonna find ourselves in a Taco Bell bathroom, like, Tiffany, what are you doing?
with your kidneys cut out.
Yeah.
No, if I made it through though, I would have taken it out anyway. It's just not me. I was just glad. I don't know what I was thinking. I was in a rebellious
She's literally
phase.
just stabbing your nose.
Why not? I make decisions like that.
like, hell yeah,
Like,
let
I
me
think I want my nose.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she was all about that.
Keep going. We were almost there. And then we're like,
Stabby.
I'm going to do this for another 20 hours.
I still can't figure out if she was like malicious about it or not. Yeah, it didn't,
Maybe,
our friendship
maybe
didn't work out because we ended up arguing over that guy after that, and then yeah.
What was her sign?
Guys.
I can't remember. I think she was a Taurus or like an Aries. I think she was a Taurus, which I mean is cool. I don't know actually that much about Taurus. All I know is they're very stubborn.
Hey, speaking of friendships, female to female friendship.
Yeah, actually, this is a
Oh
perfect
yeah! Oh my
segue.
god!
This is a perfect
Okay,
segue.
I didn't prepare at all.
The transition's so awkward.
Hey, speaking about
That was the perfect transition.
That was perfect. Yeah.
No, that was perfect.
So recently, Tiffany and I went to a cafe and we were talking about how we both have similar intentions of wanting to be closer friends with each other, but it's felt more difficult than us like relating to you guys, the boys, for example. And we were just like, why is that? Like,
There is a natural physical attraction between men and women.
disgusting.
No, I feel the same. No, I
Straight? What are you, straight?
No, okay, because sometimes when I have like gay tendencies, and I'm like, oh, I can totally connect with this dude.
You have gay tendencies?
What? I mean, sorry.
You got a little something.
I meant
there.
gay
Everybody
tendencies.
does, right?
No, I mean,
Wait, do you really?
no, you just like it's like bromance type stuff.
Yeah, romance.
Oh, like when you like don't come on people and you
Yeah,
touch
yeah.
Yeah, that's one example.
Yeah.
Like when
She's like,
when I'm doing like
what the
acro
heck is
yoga.
that? It's when you like get your fingers and you put it up somebody else's butt.
Yeah.
But it's like a playful
Totally
thing.
normal.
It's like a playful dude
Playfully
thing.
fingering their butt. Yeah.
It's not sexual. It sounds
No.
really sexual, but it's like
I think guys have the ability to like cross that line without it being weird. Now,
Yeah.
if girls cross
Yeah.
that line, like that lesbian line, no.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
maybe you guys are getting it on.
Yeah.
It
It would
doesn't
be a
work.
little. I would.
Why wouldn't it work? Why wouldn't it work?
Because then
It's
it's
too serious?
because women like take relationships and emotions very, very seriously, and like we tend to, I don't want to say overcomplicate, but we definitely see a side of it that men don't, of course, and so that's why I feel like women have a harder time getting close like that. I definitely experienced that
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a
So
lot.
like, if you like don't come home with each other, then you guys, oh my god.
We wouldn't like that.
Are we
Personally, if a girl I'm
we
friends with
moving
comes
forward?
on to me, I don't want to really be friends anymore. Like, not, I
Okay.
mean, unless,
Respect.
I mean,
Respect.
not like that. Okay, unless we can like mutually forget about it
Yeah.
all
We should forget
together.
about it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely some guys that are like that too. They're just like they just don't rock with.
Now it's weird.
Don't
Like,
you?
I don't know.
It is a little weird. I think it's a constant feeling of like, am I safe with this person?
Yeah.
Like, kind of like you with your story you just told. Like
Right.
you couldn't really tell if you guys had
Yeah,
malicious
Right.
intentions or not. And then like girls are so good at being like amicable and like nice that it's difficult to kind of feel safe.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think those things happen a lot more when you're younger too. Like if you're two grown men and you're just
Don't come on to each other.
Probably not gonna happen.
Dongjin.
Wait, what's the other way? Like the other name for it? Like in Naruto?
Yeah, that's like 1,000
years.
years of pain.
1,000 years of pain. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the Dongkomong and Dongjim are both Korean. But Dongkomong just means butt.
Butthole.
butt. And Dongjim is when you go like that.
I just like saying don't come on.
You're very knowledgeable on the subject.
Well, I'm Korean. I'm Korean. We used to do this when we were younger. Yeah, I mean, shoot.
Yeah, I've never.
Me and
I've never
Marco,
experienced this.
you don't know what we do.
I feel like there's so many guys joke about that with their friends.
Other guys put their fingers up other guys' butts.
They joke about it a lot.
do, really?
It's got to be
I
serious.
don't know if it's is it
know it's
Asian,
outside.
is it an Asian culture thing or
It's
is
definitely
it?
a Korean thing because I don't think I've heard it.
Yeah.
It's pretty. I mean, Japanese culture they have it.
Japanese for
Naruto.
sure. Japanese, yeah.
Japanese and Korean, not
Yeah.
Chinese. Do the Chinese people don't do that to each
I
other?
think so.
I think we're very homophobic.
We're very suppressed.
It's not
Wait,
like a gay expression. It's not like an expression of your sexuality to be like, I'm gay, just let me know. Like, that's not how you communicate.
It's true. Yeah, they wouldn't do that. Yeah, wait, but I'm curious where you guys ended on. Like, you guys expressed wanting to develop a closer relationship.
Yeah.
And where did you get from that conversation?
I think we just both just felt the same way, but
Yeah.
I think we still ended kind of feeling the same.
Yeah,
Wait,
like
wait.
it's difficult. It's kind of like so much easier for us to hang with like you or Lewis, and then it feels like more comfortable.
You're talking about group setting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we can kind of be a little bit like ruder in a sense
Yeah.
and feel comfortable to be rude, but like for example with Tiffany, I feel kind of very intimidated and afraid to like offend her, and maybe you feel the same way, and it's just like it's weird because it holds you back.
It is very weird.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
guys are talking about your dynamic with men versus women.
Yeah, yeah.
But I felt this way with everyone, like Mizzy or Mare or any female.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually read a few weeks ago that it takes like a very, it was a certain amount of hours, but it's a long time to become even just friends with someone. And I experienced this with one of my friends, Hannah. We this is the first friendship I've had that it was like super slow into it. You know each other and then like you hang out a couple times. Like it really does take a long time to get to know someone. And I feel like the worst friendships and relationships or anything in general, like if you rush it, it's just too, you're right, you don't want to offend each other. So you have to get to know each other more to know
Yeah.
like what flies and what doesn't.
Yeah.
So that's important. So I mean, at least you guys are on the same page. I think that's really cool that you're able to just say that.
Right.
Flat out,
Just the
because,
fact
I've
that even
never-
admitting that.
Yeah.
It's hard to have that.
It's kind of like an elephant in the room being a woman. Like, and we were talking about how how like dynamics with men is a little bit different because I was reading a book recently called My Body by Emily, last name starts with an R, I can't pronounce it, but it was she was talking about how she's like a model and an influencer. She's like huge. She was in Robin Thicke's like Blurred Lines video, and it launched her to like super fame. And then she experienced a lot of benefits of pretty privilege. But she was saying how she noticed there's this thing she does when she's around men, where whether or not she finds that man attractive, she'll automatically like sit up straighter or like kind of like present yourself a little bit better. And it's just like kind of crazy how as a woman you're kind of going through all of these like internalized misogynies that has practices that have been ingrained into you as a child of like how you should act around men and how you should act around women. And I don't know if that has anything to do with like how we interact with men. That's different than how we interact with each other. But we're also curious if anyone else has like, have you noticed the differences in the way you interact with your same gender or the opposite gender? Yeah.
Well, what's your take on that?
I think I've
Like
definitely.
sitting up straighter and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, right. It's pretty interesting. I'm around men a lot. Honestly, I used to feel like, yeah, like, okay, so I feel like it's a development thing. Like a couple years ago, I used to like go to work and be like super, I would make sure I was on point. Like if I had a nail broken, that was, nope, not going in. Or I'm gonna get it fixed or something like that. You know, I really felt like they paid attention. And like a woman, like naturally, like it's that dynamic of like, it goes back to like our, how we are as humans. Like we naturally want to impress, like, you know, it's like animals mating, things like that, you know, so you naturally are gonna act a specific way or feel a specific way around another gender. But what women don't realize a lot is like men don't like that extra stuff all the time, you know, like, and we're not trying to impress. We don't want to try to like impress men, but at the same time, like we have this subconscious thing of like,
it's like automatic
like,
almost.
yeah, even though we know that like you got, like if my nail was broken, like my nails are chipped right now, like it doesn't even matter. But I think men make really good friends. But another thing about that is like I never know when like sometimes I feel like men are always plotting on us. And I hate that.
Plotting?
Yeah, plotting, like playing the long game. Like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Playing the long game.
That is something that I have a hot take on, is like I do kind of feel like for the most part there is always like an inherent like interest from men. Like if men are showing any kind of like friendliness or like wanting to hang out, there is that potential like the long game. Like it's not always like subconscious, like you know, the forefront of their consciousness where like they're thinking about it all the time, but they're just like, oh, maybe it could be.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
And so like they're always going to put on their best behavior in that way. Or like there was a comedian or some celebrity who talked about like he doesn't have female friends. I think it was like Steve Harvey or something like that. He's like, if you think about like guys don't have female friends because they're always thinking about like, oh, like whenever there's an opportunity, like I'm gonna go for it. And like that's like very intense the way he said it. Like I think not everyone thinks the exact same way, but I think in some way, if there is some kind of attraction from the guy towards the girl, they're always gonna put on like some kind of face or like even like what you said, like with women, what they do with in front of men, like, you know, standing up straighter or whatever. Like guys are always gonna try to impress or like do things in a way where it's like put them in a good spot so that if opportunities do come about that like they're in a good position.
So how does that translate? Because you have said yourself that you tend to have more female friends.
Yeah.
And then Tiffany and I probably like, it's easier for us to have male friends. So how do you think that translates? In terms of attraction and like friendship?
Right. I think just because we have that physical attraction towards the opposite sex, it's just like, oh, I just like spending more time around that. And I think with society, how a lot of us are raised based on like how the opposite sex perceives us, like are we attractive? Do the opposite sex find us attractive? Like that almost in a way determines our self-worth. So like the amount of women, like for example, who are friendly and are kind to you and like want to be your friend, that gives you a bigger sense of self-worth. Because like, man, like all these attractive women like being super nice to me and like wanting to be my friend, that makes me feel really good. And I think that just carries forth into like everything that we do, and I think that never goes away ever since we're like little kids. Like, because I've been going to therapy and I talked about my experience how growing up, before I got like fat, I was really popular. Like I had a lot of like female friends and friends in general, and then once I got like a little bit overweight, all that went away. Like I only had like 2 friends throughout my entire elementary school like life. And then after I realized like I can't get any friends because of my weight and my unattractiveness, then I have to like lose the weight and then try to see if that changes things. And it completely did. It changed my entire life. I was starting to have a lot of friends now, and I was like, okay, my attractiveness makes a big difference. And that made me feel like that was a lot of my self-worth. Like I had to feel like I was attractive.
I think that that's definitely an internal thing. Like, I mean, I don't even think that necessarily you lost the friends because you gained weight. I think it's definitely like what you feel, you feel like you're able to make friends more or less, right? So that's just going to reflect on your outer world. So when you don't have that confidence within yourself, you can't attract.
So yes, you made a good point that I think if I had the wherewithal and like, I guess the understanding that, if I am just confident, I can exude that and that would still be attractive. But when you're a kid, like I was only 6 or 7 years old.
Yeah.
What happened was like right before I went into my summer from first grade, I had my first kiss with like basically like my biggest crush from class, and I was like at the top of the world. I was like, oh my god, I can't wait after I come back from summer and maybe I'll have a girlfriend because like I really like this girl. And then I came back, I had gained like, I don't know, 10, 15 pounds, yeah.
How did you do it in one
You were
day?
6?
I don't know, I gained a lot of weight.
Did you just eat a lot? Or
I ate a lot.
It was just like, was it an unhealthy diet?
Somewhere
Or?
was-
Yeah, it was just unhealthy diet. I just ate a lot. And then I remember I used to go to buffets a lot when I was younger.
A what?
Buffets.
Oh, just
Yeah.
go to mad phase.
Yeah, buffets.
Mad buffets.
Yeah, so I gained a lot of weight, and then I came back the next year, and I was back in class, and I remember this kiss that I shared with this girl. I never stopped thinking about her, and then I like went up to her, and she pretended like she didn't know who I was,
Oh!
and everyone that I had like interacted with just like treated me differently.
Oh.
It's by the power of the woman. She gave you the no.
It was the decree.
Men do that too, though.
Too much weight. And then everybody said, too much weight.
Yeah.
And they all shunned you.
Yeah, no, and then I
No.
and then I got made fun of my entire
Too
elementary
much
school for being a fat chink. Like that was like the 2 words. I was like, oh, he's fat and he's a chink. And like that was all I got.
Wow.
My entire
That's
elementary
brutal.
school. Yeah, it was pretty brutal. Yeah, so that's when I was like, okay,
Women.
physical attractiveness.
Men do do that.
No,
too,
but it was
though.
men
Yeah,
too.
all
All
the
the boys. All the boys
time.
making fun of
But
it
by
they won't tell you why.
but by your reasoning,
Yeah.
the men only did that because of the woman.
No.
Because she decreed it.
No.
No, it's more of like how it's.
I
that
think
when you're
it's a
that-
combination. Oh, sorry, I told
No,
you.
yeah, I was gonna say the external, like that externalization, and you internalize it
Right.
rather
Yeah.
than the other way around. But,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because there are like a number of insecurities that like everybody can, like, I mean, what am I trying to say? Like, I have struggled with insecurities, but as soon as I flipped the script and was like, no, like I'm gonna be confident anyway, that's when I started to attract what I wanted and like the confidence that I was looking for. And people saw it too. It doesn't even matter what you look like. It literally doesn't matter what you look like. Doesn't matter like anything. Anything goes in that respect. Like
Yeah.
as long as you're confident, people, it's energy. That's all
It's
it is.
energy.
You walk in the
And that's
room.
what we're saying you want to work towards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. I agree with that now. But I will also say your physical attractiveness does give you bonus.
Oh yeah, totally.
For sure.
It does.
100%. Yeah,
It does.
absolutely.
There's absolutely pretty privilege.
Oh yeah, 100%. Oh, I also did want to mention when you were talking about how women tend to take longer to develop friendships and men are a little bit quicker. That reminded me of like this TikTok. I don't know if you saw that TikTok where it's like two guys, they see each other every day for like a second. And they
Yeah.
always say hi.
Yeah.
But it was like a progression. It was like the first day, hi. The second day was like, yo, what's up? The third day was like, yo, what's up, plus a dab. Then the fourth day was like, yo, what's up? And they hug each other. And then by the 5th day, they were just like best friends.
See,
Facts.
this happens so much because when I witness when you guys meet people for the first time, or like when my boyfriend does, like the first time you guys are already calling each other bro and like you're like touching each other.
Yeah.
And then when I meet a girl, I'm just like, hi, bye, and then I run away. And then it's just like
Yeah.
total opposite. I'm pretty sure you witnessed that.
Oh yeah,
when
totally.
I was just like,
oh
hi.
yeah, yeah.
I don't agree to disagree, but I think guys are quicker to develop like a initial like surface level friendship, like really close.
Sure.
But it does take a long time for guys to get deeper, like emotionally connected. I don't know. That's my experience.
Do you disagree?
I don't know. It's either you have a vibe with them or you don't.
Yeah.
But he just vibes with a lot of people.
You do vibe with a
like
lot
you
of
and
people.
Matt, you and
Yeah.
Charles, you started so many bromances
Yeah.
since
I
you
mean,
moved here.
Charles.
I also do think it's like the amount of energy and like intention that you're willing to put in. Like if you're more open and you're like, I want to give my all to this person, then they're more receptive. Like, wow, this person's being really vulnerable and open with me and being really kind. I'm gonna reciprocate.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you're not willing to put that out, it's gonna be hard for that other person to also want to
Yeah.
put that out back.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
fair.
think for guys, it's like we're not like sought after. That's my hot take. like,
Sought
like
after by women or by
no, just in general, as much like to your point of like pretty privilege. Like women are like symbols of beauty in humanity. Like you're talking about like it's just like our human nature.
Yeah.
Like you don't look at a man and think like, oh, like
I mean,
but if you
have you
look
seen the 40 pages?
if you look at like advertisements or something like that, like we've kind of like built a world around like, oh, the woman is the person that's like, you know, there's something called like a trophy wife, you know, and like in advertisements it's usually like objects being put on a woman's body.
Sex sells.
Yeah, like sex sells, and it's usually not a man's body, you know.
Usually.
Yeah. I mean, there is a market for that too. I'm not saying that it's not exclusive to women, but like the men that are put on that pedestal, they're like Greek god figures with like chiseled jawlines. They're like giga chads. You know what I mean?
Giga
So how
chat.
does
So what I'm saying with that is like, well, I just wanted to say that first off, just to talk to your point about pretty privileges.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't be a shocker to have like guys in your DMs saying like, hey, like show Bob's in Vagana, you know?
Show Bob's.
You know, or they're just like hey, and then you're like, what's your angle? You know, like for a woman, it's always like pushing people out, but for a guy, there's like a lot more. You know, you don't have people sliding in if you're just like some Joe Schmo, you know.
That's a
So
lot of
it's like
idioms.
as a guy, you go up to other guys and you're just like I think it's more appreciated. It's more welcome to just be like, hey man, and they're like, oh, like somebody is like interested and like wants to connect in like a friendly way, and just to have that sense of being valued and desired in some ways, a lot more appreciated. Like there are a lot of guys who are like, I never get flowers. The only flowers that I get are when on my deathbed when I'm dead, or like. They don't get a lot of compliments, so when they get a compliment, that's like, it sticks with them for like a year. But for a woman, it's like, stop complimenting me, you creep, you know? It's like that dichotomy of like, women are like more sought after. It's like, even in like dating apps,
It'd be like that.
like the average woman pulls more than the average man by like fivefold or something like that. It's just like disproportionate. So I think that's why like bromances are a thing. It's because women.
who else is gonna give us love?
Yeah, who else is gonna give us love but us? You know, that's why we do the dome team. I mean, it's not sexual, but we gotta stay connected, because there will be a guy that will try to give you everything that they have as a woman, and then you know you can be more picky. Like you're not good enough.
So to what level do you feel like that connection is like strong enough? Because like from my experiences, I don't feel like I have a lot of close friendship with guys. I can be comfortable with a lot of guys and like be playful and like romancy, but I also noticed that it's hard for a lot of guys to feel comfortable opening up and being vulnerable and like wanting to be in that space, and like because I think what you're talking about, like I think you guys are amicable, but it's like you wanted that closer, deeper connection, right?
Wow, what's your question?
So I guess the question was, I guess I made some statements and I forgot to follow up with it. But the question is like, do you also feel like guys, like how many close, like deep connections do you feel like you have with guy friends? Because I feel like I think you were supporting my claim that guys are quicker to like.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but like it's also hard for us to be close on a deeper level.
I mean, I think everybody's just kind of on their own path, and I kind of want to say that for like, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to single it out to like male or female, but it's not really the case. That like you can have a really deep connection with somebody, but just not be able to spend time with them, and that's okay. Like you said, you had your friend who's still in Chicago. You still love them, but but you're over here. It's like the same thing. Like I feel like there's people back home, back in New Jersey, that I really love. That they're really cool people, and I would want to spend more time with them. But I mean, what I'm doing right now is just not in line with what they're doing.
I agree.
So just like
that's
once a year. Or
crazy.
something.
You just said that. So me and my friend Hannah were just talking about this. Like we've been talking about this though.
Wait, is another friend from Chicago?
Yeah,
That's salty?
No, she's not salty. No, I have a different friend. No, she's not
okay.
salty. Seriously? Cut that out. She doesn't know I think she's salty. No, it's not Hannah though. But anyway.
You guys are still on that level.
Yeah, no, like, I mean, there was definitely some tension when I moved, I feel like, because she was sad, and I mean, I was sad, but like what you said, we're not doing the same things. But me and Hannah have talked about, like, all we've ever done as friends is create. Like, we've created, like, epiphanies, we've created movements, we've created poll, we've created videos and ideas, and we have a creationship. And she said, like, I'm not even having any more friendships or relationships.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
That's like
that's
that
a
word.
creationship. That's it. Because it's productive, it's fulfilling for everybody,
That's
it
awesome.
makes everybody feel good. It's never gonna be, like, it's never going to have fallout. I mean, as long as you're creating together, it's a beautiful thing. So, creationship.
It's beautiful.
I like that.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
That's all I ever want.
Yeah.
And you made it.
Yeah, you
you
have.
made
This
it.
is a creationship. All of this is
Indeed.
totally in line.
Yeah, and that's kind of to my point too. Is that there are people back home that have those kinds of like, oh, I make stuff with them, or they're just somebody that connects with me on like an intellectual level, a spiritual level. Like, you have those kinds of friends where you put on these different faces of like, oh, I'm trying to be spiritual, and this is somebody that I appreciate in that kind of way.
Right.
And like, it's just a matter of where you are and where they are. I think it's easy to become very jaded and like maybe like lost in your life, thinking like, oh, nobody cares about me because like I'm just like here doing whatever I'm doing. Like, why is there nobody else around me?
Right.
And this one may be like straying a little bit from like men versus women, but I think it is important to just think about like what you're doing in comparison to the people who you're close to, and like just keeping that perspective, because those things really, like, at the end of the day, those people really do care about you.
So do you think you act the same with your girlfriends and with your guy friends?
Yeah.
The dynamics are really similar?
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, I can see that.
I definitely believe that about Lewis.
For Lewis, yeah.
I definitely don't think
I
that's the case
mean,
for me.
he openly farts in front of me.
That's true. If you can fart around women, you're just like, dude.
You're just a dude.
You just see women as dudes.
Sup, bro?
But I think that also speaks to what you're saying about like if you can be comfortable with like women and stuff like that, then you could just be comfortable with more people, and then you could have just more friends like that.
Yeah, I would just say like for me, like I just try harder with women.
Even friends? Just like regular friends?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's respectable to present yourself and try, in general, because then you're motivating the people around you to up themselves and try hard at everything you do, just be a presentable person. Because when you get together with someone, whether you've been friends for 10 years or a week, it's like you're taking time out of your day, they're taking time out of their day, so it's good to try and just be present and be there in whatever way that is, whether you're creating something or going to get coffee, like just being present. And I hate when I'm hanging out with people and they're just like, hi. I think we're hanging out right now. But yeah, I think that's good. I mean, whether it's women or men or whoever you're hanging out with, I think it's good to try, but not make it weird or like how it's like that barrier of we don't know when to open up. Because if you're like presenting like just don't try too hard.
Yeah.
Just be there, be yourself. And
No, I definitely had to for me personally, like I had to learn the balance of like what is too much and like what is not too much, because I definitely know that there were moments. There's a period in my life where I was like, all right, I'm trying way too hard, and like I should just like see this person as like someone I want to connect with rather than like any other ulterior motive. So I know like that takes like this trial and error kind of like thing, because I did grow up like in high school with a lot of like comments like, dude, like this guy's like too much, like, and I've had to like dial back a lot of my own personality, because like I used to be like this clown who, I mean, starting from elementary school, I used to like put glue in people's seats and like.
Oh my! I didn't know people really did that.
That's like a chaotic, like.
Oh yeah.
Out of
chaotic
control.
evil right there.
It carried on into middle school. People were just like, I remember this one party that like was life changing for me. I was like, wow, I am too much. It was this really big pool party, and like one of the popular girls at school was throwing this party, and everyone was invited.
Did you like poop in the pool? And you're like, ha ha.
That's pretty close. No, what I did was like, I thought it was gonna be funny. I thought it was a funny thing to do, but I went to like the table with all the food, and everyone's eating like hot dogs, and like it was a cookout, it was a grill out. And I was like, oh, you know what'd be hilarious? If I got ketchup, I just drenched myself in ketchup, rubbed it all over my body, and then jumped in the pool. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. Everyone laughed except for like the
People
girl who
would clean it up?
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't consider that. I didn't even consider that. Like, oh shit, this might
It's okay, you got your moment in.
Oh yeah, I was a legendary after that. Like everyone's like, dude, you're that guy. Yeah, you're the guy. Like, remember Marco
still telling stories
covered
about
himself
that.
in ketchup? I guarantee people are still gonna have memories of that.
Yeah.
You went from the guy who's bullied to the guy who had ketchup.
Well, because I wanted attention. I think I didn't feel like I had anything to make me stand out other than like my humor. Yeah, back then.
That's a good, like, so it's like that point you just been that you wanted attention. Here's like a hot take that I haven't fully developed yet. But what if it's more fulfilling for us to get attention from men because our moms kind of sucked?
No, I know.
Oh, that's sweet. I don't relate to it at all. So.
I've had that problem though. I've definitely had the man attention problem. Like I've been like,
so it feels
that's why
good to
yeah.
And then with women, we're like, I don't know if I really trust you.
I don't know
like,
if it's necessary. I think it could be a combination of either of your parents or anybody in your childhood. Anybody in your childhood not giving you attention, because the most fulfilling attention is from like probably like the opposite gender who desires you, right? Because it's more passionate, right? It feels better. So of course, like when we're neglected, when we're kids, we're gonna seek out that deeper meaning attention.
Neglectful.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, whatever that case is. I mean, I'm sure like a lot of parents like just don't even know, like because there's a specific way you have to treat a child to make them know that they are cared for and that they're not neglected. And a lot of people don't know that, and it's not their fault. But it's like a lot of us have dealt with that. So. But yeah, it's totally normal to seek out. I've definitely seeked out attention or like likes even or like thirst trapping. I wouldn't even realize, like I used to dress so provocative.
You got it.
Killed it.
Fight through the word.
Provocative. And I didn't even like really realize it. Like until someone else pointed that out, I'd be like, damn, I'm kind of like literally, like wow. And that's subconscious. It's all subconscious. Because of course I didn't think about it. I didn't even know.
It's so automatic.
Yeah, of course. So I think that's totally normal. That's why never judge a book by its cover. Because you never know. It's all subconscious.
Now that I think about it, I'm like, I think it's less of the mom thing, but for me, it was always like the brother thing. Because like, as I've told Marco, I'm not really close to my older brother. We don't talk at all, even though we live under like the same roof sometimes. And I think I'm always seeking for that like older brother figure, because he's always been that like shadow in the corner of my house that I never talk to. And so like everywhere I go, I find myself in situations where I make the older male in like that group of people like a brother, and I always act like a childish little sibling because I think I crave that. Like I really missed out on that in my life. So I think I just connect with guys because of that. Like, I just want
it like fulfills that dynamic that you were missing. That makes
That's
so much sense. That is.
No, totally.
But I think a lot of people mistake that for like being too flirtatious. Or like,
I don't like that. I feel like a lot of people think I'm flirting when I'm not. I'm just trying to have a good time.
So what do you think about the girl to girl dynamic?
Like why? Like why?
Like why
would it be
it's
hard?
like like standoffish kind of. Because that's kind of the impression that I'm getting.
A little.
What?
It's a little harder to like put your walls down.
Well, because I mean, I hear through, stereotypes and other people mentioning that, like, there's, like, sometimes a little bit of competition.
Yeah,
I was thinking
that's
that.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, like, a lot of
I
comparing.
don't see her as
Do you guys have
competition.
favorites?
Well, but, yeah, that's,
I mean,
what,
I
that's what I'm
think-
saying. Is
but,
like,
like, we're-
you with
we're-
Faye,
yeah.
like, you're always, like, comparing yourself and, like, oh, Faye's so much more prettier than me. And, like I feel, like, weird around her.
Yeah,
Nothing.
that's true. I always thought that, like,
So maybe it's, like,
I think it's
comparison.
comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like an automatic thing that happens.
Yeah.
And you need to like constantly put in the effort to remind yourself
Yeah.
that like you can both be pretty and
Right.
like it doesn't really
Yeah, you can each own your
But this
own
is the
things.
fucking patriarchy making us think only one woman can win and then we,
Oh,
don't
like
have
the star of the group.
yeah.
The star of the
Yeah. It's like all
It's
of
like
our,
harder to recognize that like there is a thing for me in this. There's a place for me in this group, and like I'm good for this. Like I'm like known for this thing,
Mm-hmm.
rather than like I have to like be the girl of this group kind of thing. Maybe.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it also comes down to like, do you have someone in the group who's like trying to compete, like, trying to outshine people? Because I mean, that's definitely something that I feel like could be toxic. Like, I don't like being around that. I mean, if you naturally shine through, then that's what you do, I guess, right? But I think it's good to be around people who want a community rather than like an independence and a sense of independence, and then just have everybody like around, or more like instead of having friendships, like using their friends to like get to that next level. Like I've definitely seen that and witnessed that, especially like with
it's
like
weird.
and you get a following and stuff like
Yeah. Yeah.
people are like, hey, let's hang out, we haven't talked in like 5 years, but how you doing?
This reminded me of a TikTok that I saw because I feel like we don't feel that way, but it's confusing because sometimes as a human you do get feelings of jealousy, but it's like okay to feel jealous because that's just a human thing to do. And then so there's this weird gray area where you're like, I'm jealous, so I feel ashamed that I felt jealous, even though I 100% support my friend and want her to succeed. But then you're like, but I felt jealous, so am I an asshole? And then you're just kind of stuck in this like, what the hell's wrong with me? Like, am I like for a woman, or am I like just? And then you kind of, for me at least, I start to kind of hate myself a lot for feeling jealous, even though that's a normal human emotion. And it makes me feel like, does that discount my support for my friend? And that is where like, I feel confused.
I feel like that's an area where we need to look to anime.
Yes.
Nice.
I'm on the same wavelength.
Yeah, like you keep
You're
your like.
team each other.
No, all I'm talking about is like looking at that jealousy, but not seeing it as jealousy, but rather than like, oh, like now we're, like Naruto and Sasuke, like they're like
Competition.
It's
like
healthy
healthy
competition. Healthy competition. It's like that's really awesome. Now like now's my turn. Like now here's like my
Like
opportunity.
use that as motivation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather
Yeah.
than actively.
I mean, the thing that you just described was like a cycle, like a spiraling downward.
It's
Thing,
difficult.
where it's
yeah.
like I feel jealous and I feel bad that I'm jealous, so I hate myself. But my position doesn't really change. It's just like a self-fulfilling cycle.
Yeah.
I mean, I think jealousy in general is just self-loathing.
Yeah, it definitely comes from something inside.
Yeah, where it's like, but you just described like, oh, I'm jealous, which is self-loathing, and I hate myself because I am self-loathing.
Yeah.
So that's how it's like kind of cyclical. So
Yeah.
I would just say, yeah, just take it like.
But like like what Marco was
Something
saying
like
is that you can take that feeling and you can kind of like transmute it to something more
just be like,
constructive.
I just want to
Yeah.
be
Yeah,
better.
so it can
Right.
either be constructive or destructive, and
Yeah,
you can
it's like
choose.
it's like trying to understand like why do you feel jealous?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, like where am I at comparatively? And
Yeah.
it's like, oh well, if I want to be like comparative to that, then
Yeah.
I need to step up my game, or
Yeah.
like I need to take that as inspiration, or take that as like motivation,
Yeah.
and like make that like my goal. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I mean,
Like Naruto just learned the Rasengan, and
I mean,
now I need to fucking learn the Chidori. Like what the fuck? Like yeah,
Gotta get Chiori.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do when he comes in with the big punch? I don't have a big punch.
yeah,
I need a big punch.
I
yeah.
don't watch anime.
I think you should. You can learn a lot about life
Yeah.
through anime.
I can learn a lot about life without anime.
true.
But that's actually facts though.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, I would look at these anime protagonists and I would look up to them. Like
Yeah.
Naruto,
Yeah.
I'll look up to that guy.
Yeah, like he didn't have like a hateful bone in his
Yeah, he
body.
didn't. Yeah, he didn't have like a hateful spirit.
Yeah.
It was
Even
just,
all,
like, trying to
even all
connect.
of his enemies, he was looking to try to empathize, understand where they're coming from, and that was his superpower. It was like he was able to empathize and be like, dude, I relate to you. Like you're evil and like you're doing bad shit. That's because like I was in a bad place too. Like I can totally understand why you're doing that.
Yeah.
And then the evil guy's like, wait, you see me?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do evil shit anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, we're the only anime watchers
Yeah,
here,
yeah,
so I mean,
No,
sorry.
Shots to the heart.
Sorry.
I did not watch. I did not watch Naruto.
Okay, but maybe we should
Yeah,
start.
no.
Maybe we should start shifting the conversation.
No, let's.
to, like,
If we're ready to pivot, I kind of want to go back to something that
Yeah.
Amanda said. That you said that for a moment you're kind of seeking likes from your following, and this led to like a recent life change where you wanted to ditch that following. And I think this is interesting because I feel like your audience is mainly female, and
It's like 98%.
mine is like the reverse. Mine is all male. So like,
okay,
yeah,
yeah.
That's pretty
So
interesting.
yeah.
yeah, when I was on TikTok, right? So I mean, obviously it was like trends and stuff, and I would create my own videos and be, and I was proud of those, and they did well too. And I would always be happy when I attracted more females because like that's who I relate to, that's who I like talking to, and who was really gonna understand me deep down. Like a lot of men, not all of them, but a lot of them just want to, see the thirst traps, which is great. But like then that's the community you're building. You know, that's important. Like how you're starting. Is this the foundation I want? Like for my entire platform? Like is this like no? So I got shadow banned on TikTok. So that's kind of when I stopped posting
I feel
on
it.
it. Oh yeah. But then when I came out as a dancer on my YouTube channel, which was this May-ish, I think, so like 7 months ago, that's when I started attracting a lot of women to my page. And I was so happy and just pleased because I thought maybe it would be more men and it would just be like a whole another problem, but it was a lot of women, and I was really grateful for that because at the end of the day then you can just be more yourself. And I feel like when I was posting for men, because I got my following from TikTok and then I started posting on YouTube based off of that audience, right? Because that's who is coming in anyway. And so I was doing swimsuit hauls or I was subconsciously doing more attractive things on my page because that's what was getting likes and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Now what the audience wants to see is more of my real personality because I was able to draw in the other audience. And I'm glad I ditched the whole, and going back on TikTok, I don't know if I'm gonna go back on my main page or not, but if I do, I mean, there's nothing wrong with feeling yourself though. There's nothing wrong with feeling good and thirst trapping if you want, but not getting wrapped up in that because I got super wrapped up in that. And I liked it a lot. Refresh, oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, the
It feels
dopamine
good.
is
You
crazy.
can't deny it. You can't deny it. But it will cause you to continue the rest of your career and your intention based on around something that's temporary and lustful and not real. It's not real. So it's not going to really fulfill you in the long run.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right now. But in the long run, there's nothing creative I can stem from that. It's just thirst trapping.
So you said that most of your followers on YouTube are female?
I think now it's almost like a 50-50, which is great to hear.
good.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. I'm happy
I was
with
gonna
it.
say, so because you're putting your personality out there, and some of that is female, females watching.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like that's do you see that connecting at all to this whole conversation of finding comfort with women and that kind of women versus men?
Yeah, so I've definitely gotten a lot of comments, a lot more comments ever since. I mean, I started my channel with my real personality, right? And then I wasn't really getting a lot of. I mean, I thought it was a lot. You can see my old videos. I'd be like, oh my god, I got 50 subscribers.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, and it's real
great.
people,
Yeah.
if you put 50 people in a room, that's a lot of people. You get 50 likes on Instagram. That's a lot. People underestimate that. You put them all in one room.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real. So it started off as just people I knew or people who were lurking or being, nosy. Oh, you have a YouTube channel. And then TikTok allowed all these men to come in, which whatever. And then me coming out as a dancer is like I would get some comments, you know, but like after that, like my vlogs and stuff, and it's all women like, I love your personality, like, oh, can you do this video? They'll give you video suggestions. Like I've never gotten that type of like feedback. You want engagement, that's what you want for sure. That's like the number one thing, and I never have gotten that until I started getting more women coming to my page, and they give me ideas. Like literally you don't even have to think anymore, you just have to go through your comments and be like, oh, they want me to post this, they want me to do that video, like, and it's so refreshing and it really does keep you going. So that's where like, I mean, I hid myself as a dancer like on the internet for 2 years of doing it. I was on YouTube just pretending like, you know, nobody, you know, whatever, they don't need to know, it doesn't matter. I was posting off-topic things where they would have no idea. Even on TikTok, nobody knew, nothing. The internet did not know. And a huge part of me, because I have so much to say and I feel so passionate about like my life and how it's come to be, and I'm so grateful for what I've done with that, and like not like comparison, but I guess like the stigma around what a lot of people do with that is like not me, so I'm proud of that. And I felt like I was really hiding my true self, no matter what that is. Like you have to be your true self. And as soon as I came out as my true self, that's when I started getting the engagement I want, and like, you know, having the community like that I love right now. And I'm not afraid of growth, because that will automatically happen when you're being yourself, you know. And I was so scared to come out about it, and I really thought it was going to be a lot of men, another problem, but no, it just goes to show like you will attract like who you are. And definitely just be your authentic self, like wherever you're at on the internet, whatever you do. At the end of the day, everybody's doing their own thing, you know, and there's a lot that can be judged. But I mean, if we all equally agree that we all have things that are not ideal, or I mean, they're ideal to me and not to you, and whatever, then it can create a lot more communities. And when, from me opening up, I think it's encouraged a lot of other people and like shown that like it's okay, like other people can open up about their life and their secrets, or you don't have to hide who you are, like, you know, we're all equal.
Sounds very fulfilling.
Sounds very empowering. And those are the female like audience members who are like engaging like that, like, oh, I always wanted to dance or something like that.
I love it so much. I love having women on my channel, for sure.
That's awesome.
And I mean, a lot of men, like, I know a lot of men that like have supported me for a long time, like, you know, and just to support, and just because they're kind, and they, you know, one guy told me, it's weird, you meet a lot of people. One guy told me, if you do something for 5 years, and you just do it for 5 years and don't stop, you're gonna be good at it, you're gonna be successful at it. You're doing it for 5 years. It doesn't matter like what, you know, as long as you're consistently doing it, how could you not get better? You know, you just have to do it. Don't think about it, just do it. And over time, you really do get better at the dynamic of social media in general. And I mean, back to the main topic, building friendships, and that's all a skill. Communication is a skill, talking is a skill, friendships are a skill. That's why a lot of them flop. That's what middle school and high school is for. That's it, all of those flop. They're supposed to flop. They teach you what's important and what's not. And damn, I really wish that could have lasted. You know, that could have been a good friendship. But it's okay, because I know where I did wrong. I've definitely done a lot of wrong in friendships. You know, it's hard, but it's, like I said, a skill. So, yeah, I really like engaging with women. You know, but it's hard, of course, because I think it's less intense on social media though. Like when you're in person, it's weird.
Yeah, in social media, it's nice.
Yeah,
it's like you're practically everyone is just gay. Like it's okay.
Everyone's gay.
Like I love
Girls are not afraid to support each other.
Yeah, but in person it is a little different. Yeah,
Totally.
because you have to actually have to have a conversation. You can't just be like, I fucking love you, like I'll marry you, and then that's it. There's like time.
Yeah,
it's pretty interesting. I feel like there are a lot of women who are kind of like that. They're like very vocal online, and then you meet them in person, and then they're like, hi. And you're like, what's up? But you're talking all this stuff online, and you're like a crazy person. And it's hilarious, or whatever, like so much energy, and then you meet them. No, it's pretty interesting.
That's me.
I don't know, you're kind of crazy.
I'm like commenting like a bunch of hearts and shit, and then
You're kind of crazy. That's what you said.
Did you get my comment on your TikTok?
I didn't check it yet. I'll see it.
Like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think followings are interesting because it seems like now you're getting a more like authentic community, like you just described. And I think for Tiffany, it has maybe like always felt that way in a way because you were just yourself from the beginning.
Yeah, I think it was always very authentic, but I think like now it's kind of strayed more towards because there's more people, I don't want to be myself as much anymore, and so it becomes very unauthentic. Yeah, like it's just a lot of compliments, but it's not as much of like bonding and connecting because I've closed off that side of me.
I agree. When I passed like 20K followers, I stopped tweeting. Yeah. Like I'm just so scared to talk now. Yeah. Because I'm like, I'm gonna fuck this all up and like it just doesn't feel the same. Like before I used to just lay there in bed all night just fucking tweeting dumb shit and like people would engage with me and I would make friends. And then now I'm just like terrified.
You get more intimidated when there's a huge audience and then there's all these like haters too. And then you say the wrong thing or you know, then you start thinking about the likes at that point because it's like, oh my gosh, like
it just doesn't feel the same.
And in the beginning it doesn't even matter. You're just out there doing it, and that's like the thing that you need to keep with you, which will actually bring you more of an audience, but just more of like who you're going to connect with because you're making content for them at the end of the day. So like you want to bring in people you relate to, right? So if you get wrapped up in all the likes, you're gonna have a hard time making content and like connecting.
Yeah, like nowadays I just feel kind of dead when I go onto that account because I'm just like I don't feel inspired to say anything.
Oh, you got rid of it, or
I know I still have it. I'm like at 40K now, but I just don't say anything anymore. I just post the content and then I dip. I'm just like I don't feel any type of excitement to like talk or like have a conversation because I don't know who any of these people are. I was telling Lewis over on New Year's Eve that like. I have like a good following, but they don't care about me. Like, you know, it's like a weird feeling. I'm super grateful for it because I can run my business, but it doesn't feel like a community, like what you were describing. It doesn't,
It's hard. How long have you had social media?
Since like last August. Yeah. And then I remember the feeling of hitting like 1,000 subscribers. I mean, not subscribers, followers for the first time. And I was like, oh my God, 1,000 people? That is crazy. Like 1,000, 30. I don't know. It was like amazing. And then after that, it's just like. It just kind of like,
you're like, oh, cool, got another 2,000.
That sucks.
Awesome.
Yeah. There's like a weird feeling with having that.
Oh my God, it's hard.
I think that's why like so many YouTubers that like once they hit 1 million, they just ditch that account entirely and they start a new one from like scratch because they don't want to like connect with 1 million people. They just want like a small community.
Yeah.
It's about the journey.
Yeah. The journey is so much more
Which
fun.
is kind of what you're doing.
Yeah, totally.
You're like ditching your following and you're just gonna start over.
Yeah. I don't know what I want to do yet. I still have followers on Instagram. But I feel like I could keep my Instagram and like just start fresh within myself because it's not like crazy. But my TikTok is kind of crazy. I don't know. I think maybe I will continue to post on there and if it works well. But at the same time, I'm shadow banned still. So, you know, I don't want to fight and like keep trying to post to get on the algorithm. I'm really going to be like busting my ass at that point. Yeah. So I think doing the new one, I mean, I posted one video with Marco. I think the last time I posted on that account was like June. Then we posted one random little dance video and it got 13,000 views.
Nice.
Just like, okay, cool. So that's a fresh start. I have like 200 followers on there. Like that's cool because now like I don't have to be known as like, because you know, like I said before, like I want to be able to connect and eventually, you know, because doing like live streams and stuff, like we were really a community. Like you said, like when it's smaller, like you're able to. You want to connect with them, you know, and once it got to more followers, I was like, I can't even like find my people. Like they're not even in. Are they even on the live? Like where are they? Like I don't know. And then it's just all this like, it just gets really complicated. So that's why I also think that breaks are good. Like just taking breaks in general, like because I mean we were talking about posting consistently and whatnot on YouTube specifically. I am the most loyal follower to the people who post when they feel like they can, or always post out of inspiration, not obligation. That's it. Like, because that's where, you know, you're going to get those loyal followers. Like, how many people do you guys like, oh my God, yes.
Yeah, and you're so like,
a month later,
you're like, oh yeah.
that's real, you know. I know it's real too, you know. I know I'm not interested in people just pumping out content because I mean people are interested in what they're interested in, you know. They come there for a reason. So I always think about it whenever I do want to post or connect with people, how I'm scrolling, what I'm looking for, like what I'm clicking on, like what I'm engaging in, what I appreciate, and then just put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah,
it's important. It's very important to attract the following that resonates with you.
Yeah,
you want to keep it real, because that's where social media gets toxic.
Yeah.
Like, no, unless you're trying to be like celebrity status, but I'm not trying to walk out the door looking ratchet and the paparazzi comes up. I'm not going to be on that status.
Yeah.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I think it's been difficult for me because like in the beginning I was very like adamant about being like, I'm gonna post in my aesthetic and my style and I want to be genuine and like whatever. And then just for context, like I'm in like the not safe for work community, and then as I kept gaining like a bigger following, I would see all these other creators who are posting like daily and kind of writing like disgusting male gaze captions, and I've been doing that too, and I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing? Like I want to throw up like writing these captions, but it feels like so much pressure to like keep up with these people who are freaking posting like a crazy amount of times a day. And I'm just like, how the fuck do you have energy for this? Like I'm like, every time I finish posting like a male gaze caption, I'm just like a little bit drained, and I don't really know how to get back to feeling like I'm adamant about my aesthetic and my vibe. It's just kind of difficult. And then like as I'm getting bigger, I feel like lately, like I had this moment like 2 months ago where like on every algorithm on like TikTok or Twitter or whatever, like I was just getting no engagement. And I'm just like, what is happening? Like no matter what I'm doing, they just kind of like push me to the bottom for whatever reason. I used to never have to join like retweet groups or whatever. Like I could just post and then it would get engagement. But like, yeah, that was very like kind of demoralizing a little. I was just like, what the, like I need the engagement, like I need to run a business. And so then I started writing more male gaze captions and like doing all these things that I hated doing, and I'm just like, I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing to like, keep growing, or what does growing even look like, or what does success look like for me. So I'm kind of like making my way through that right now in terms of a following and like how to have this like alter ego of myself, but also feel like it's not making me want to puke.
Definitely, you gotta stay in you have to find your purpose and know what your purpose is and stick with that. Like screw everybody else and what they're doing.
I would be so interested in seeing you vlog or like try on a new thing other than what you're already doing right now. Yeah. Because then I think you would have so much more fun.
I think that would be fun. Yeah. I was thinking of maybe like putting like some vlogs on my page and just seeing like how that goes.
Try it out.
Because I feel because like why the fuck not? If no one likes it, then no one fucking likes it. Whatever. Like,
you like it. That's what matters. You like it. Like no, when I'm editing my stuff, I'm like laughing. I'm having a good time. Okay, like so if that gets 10 likes, like I don't give a shit. I had the best time ever editing it. That's all that matters. Like, because at the end of the day, there will be people. You know what, Emma Chamberlain? She's one of my inspos.
She's amazing.
Hell yeah, what does she do? She goes on there and literally is her complete self. Like, no filter. No filter. And now, like, she has so many subscribers. Like, and that's, like, she's still able to connect with her community with that many subscribers. People still really care about her. They follow her because they care, of course, because she's not posting anything for clickbait. She's literally posting her daily routine, like her life, like her cooking something or whatever. Like she's great, and like all she ever did was that. She never did anything else, and like that's why she's one of my huge inspos. Because like she can have that, she can have it all. She's a proof that you can have it all. You know, you can have it all. You can have all the followers. You can have the community. You can have the engagement. You can have the authenticity, and you can have fun. Like it's all like because you love doing it. Yeah. That's what matters. Because the point I feel like for me to do social media, I don't want to be in that 9-to-5 routine. Like, you know, I want to be I want to be a free creator. I want to put myself out there. I want to be myself. It will take everything away if like you're going off of a grid or idea or someone else's layout. You know, just keep it to
That's what is the differentiator on your platform is to be that personal connection. Like that they can feel like they actually know who you are.
Yeah.
So I feel like that would be cool. Like you don't always have to post male gaze content.
I don't. What's crazy is in the beginning, like I was very like genuine in myself, and I never wrote like weird male gazy like responses. But now, like as subscribers keep flowing in and out, and then I keep meeting like new people, it gets a little tiring to be genuine all the time because it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just easier to just say what they want to hear.
Yeah,
in a way.
I think that's like writing your, like crafting your post, but if you just do video content of just like you, just being you, like that itself is like pretty interesting. I think that on top of, you know, what you're doing can just help break it up mentally for you.
Yeah, it's a little difficult because I think I struggle between like I am selling like a fantasy or like an ideal, right? And I'm selling this kind of like escape. And so it's like difficult because like I need to find all of the most authentic parts of myself and like focus on that to kind of contribute to this idealized version of me. And then I kind of get like confused sometimes. It's just hard.
That is hard.
Yeah, to balance that.
A lot of TikTokers, it's like all they upload is like one thing or like a persona. That is their channel. So it's like to break that. It's like when Filthy Frank tried to break the illusion, you know what I mean? Like everybody hated him because they're like, "What are you doing, man? Keep being Filthy Frank. Keep being Filthy Frank. Stop being a real person."
Yeah,
you know?
People don't like change.
Yeah.
So to that, maybe start a second TikTok and just do your own real shit.
I hate that. I
That's
hate
hard
how you
though.
have to start a whole new account to be a whole different person.
Yeah.
Even though you're the same person, you just have to have.
I mean, Mr. Beast, he does like all of his money giving stuff on his main channel, and then he has Mr. Beast Gaming, or like whatever. That's
People can pick the parts of you that they like.
Yeah, that's even JK. JK didn't
like,
start as JK News.
So what you want.
Yeah, they just
You have options. I don't know. I've had a lot of creators where I appreciate them, and sometimes I'm like, well, like, you know, what do you like eat for breakfast? What do you do in your day? Like,
how do you wash your face?
Yeah, what's your hair routine?
Yeah.
Like things like that. Like, I mean, I do appreciate. Like some people don't, some people do. You know, I think it's about finding that balance. Like post, like what you post to please them. It's literally 50-50. You have to. Like part of it is you do have to sort of engage, of course, with what they want to see, right? They give you video suggestions or they're engaging on a certain video more than others. Okay, well, keep that in the rotation, of course, but also fulfill yourself, you know, with that, because people aren't going to unsubscribe from you because they saw something, you know what I mean? Like, if they like you, they just might not watch the video. Yeah. Which screw them if they don't want to watch it.
I don't know.
I need that mentality.
Someone will watch it. Someone.
I really do agree with the separation, though. Like making a separate channel. That's like when people bring politics into sports. You know, like people generally don't really receive that very well. They can be like, I respect that. That's cool. But like, you can also just do that in your own time. You know, like in other parts of your life, in everything else that you do. Like you can donate. You can like be a community member. And just like live through your actions more than like taking up your space where, I mean, on stuff like TikTok, it's like you literally made your own platform. But on more traditional things like on TV, it's like if you like break character just to say something on like live television, people are like, what the heck? Like, this is not really like what we signed up for, you know? So coming from that kind of strain, that's like another way that I kind of see it, which is why I think that kind of separation is good. But I mean, I'm not trying to discredit anything.
No,
that you said.
I totally agree.
I mean, you're literally doing that right now with your YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's all over the place. I think it's important to know your audience, of course.
Yeah.
So, I mean, knowing if it's okay to do that. I've very much considered making other, like, I mean, I've been all over the place with that, you know, because I have, like, multiple things that I want to do on there because I didn't know if I wanted to, like, okay, you're one niche, right? That just sounds so boring to me. Like, that's boring.
difficult.
Like, and I don't know. I just think it's important to know your audience, who you're posting for, and whether they're going to appreciate certain content or not, and then go about making another channel. But if you, I mean, I don't know, it's hard.
Yeah, I mean, even to your point about those content creators that only post like once a month or like sparingly throughout the year, like the people who follow that kind of expect that of them. They don't expect them to be uploading 2 or 3 videos a day. So like that is like kind of their audience.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I'm not trying to say anything bad about being so like, oh, I'm kind of here, I'm kind of over there. Like that's kind of the brand that you're making for yourself, and that's what you want to do. So
I think having multiple accounts is a good idea, you know, depending on like what kind of, like how different the content you're making is, right? So like politics and sports, of course, like when you're going to separate that. But if it's like, you know, I mean, you can try to incorporate as much as, because YouTube also has like playlists, you know, you can separate everything and make it very organized. Instagram has your main page and then it has reels. Maybe on your reels you have a certain thing and on your main page you have a certain thing. Like that's totally fine because, and then you have highlights too. You can also use that for like certain content, you know? Like it's just about like organizing that and like being aware of that and how to use all of that because that's where it gets complicated. But I mean, your loyal followers are your loyal followers. That's it.
Yeah,
like
that's
they will appreciate all or none of your content, but they'll still follow you. Like that's it.
Yeah.
facts.
I feel like we should wrap up with the original topic.
Yeah.
Almost like
Nice.
just does anyone have any last thoughts of, you know, what can we do to improve or get closer with our friendships in general? Because I think we talk about like girl and girl and guy, but I think we both face similar issues. Like it's not always the easiest to connect with, not only just like the same sex, but even the opposite sex is like a different type of connection that you're developing.
Yeah,
it's
like
not necessarily
different sides of the same coin.
Yeah. So like, do you guys have any thoughts on how you can improve that, or like based on your expression of your desire, like wanting to be closer with each other, like what do you think we could do?
I think it's a lot like relationships where it takes an agreement of effort from both people. Like all the girls that I'm still friends with now, like it's because we mutually still want to be friends, and so you like have to do, like, even if it's just sending a TikTok to each other or whatever, finding your language with each other, where that language is like your own, like your two's personal love language or whatever, that makes the other person feel supported and safe to like come to you when, like, you know, deeper moments do happen in life and you need like some serious help from that person, and then they can feel safe to approach you about it. But it's like that maintenance and the mutual agreement to put an effort to maintain it, which is, it's difficult because it's like a lot of it is not said. Like you can't be like, do you want to get into a contract right now and mutually agree to, you know what I mean? Like it's fucking, no one is saying that explicitly. It's kind of like just like, you have to like vibe it out that you both want that, which is where I think it's difficult. Yeah.
So it doesn't seem like something that can be forced. It's just kind of like, through time, you start to realize like what is your language.
Yeah. And
like,
this
with
person
being
makes
this
me
could
feel.
be video games and anime and stuff like that.
I was gonna say definitely vibe, like ride it out, like don't try to force it, and like allow life to happen. Like people separate and they come back together, like unless you literally have a fallout, in my opinion, like you're still friends, you know? Like I mean, we're cool, like we're good. Now if I want to like stay friends with someone, like my best friend, we might not talk all the time, but like you said, sending them a TikTok, like just do something, right? Or like my sister, it's just like that, right? Because like we don't even see each other, like maybe like once every 6 months, like we see each other, but I'll call her every now and then, I'll text her every now and then, like just keep the connection. And I think if both people can understand, I'm sure the other person has something going on, like they have life, everyone has life. So I mean, I think it's important just to keep the connection, you know? And like, if anybody's getting salty in that situation, that like there's not a lot of communication going on, then that's not someone that, I mean, that's someone that needs to like mature more, of course. So just ride it out.
Yeah. And maybe like expectations too. Because if that person's salty, then they probably have higher expectations of what they want from you. And that's like a mismatch. Yeah.
I feel like you can relate to that. I feel like you can relate to that. I feel like you talk a lot about how your friends expect more from you sometimes.
Yeah, I think at the beginning it was a lot of mismatched communication and stuff like that because I moved to Vegas and then like they're all in LA still. So I think at that time I was so busy and caught up with work that it was really hard for me to maintain a lot of relationships, and it felt like I was straining a lot of relationships, whether it's like with my mom or like my close friends, and I think they can feel that I was like distanced because I was just so busy. But I think because they were still in school and they did kind of have more free time than I did, I think it just wasn't like we weren't matched in the same level of life at that time, so it was a little bit more strained. Yeah. But now it's fine. Yeah, it's gotten a lot better.
Yeah, sometimes it just depends on where everyone is in their own path and where they are in life.
Yeah.
Touche. That's all I gotta say.
You mean amen.
Ongoing discussion. This is not a thing that can be solved in one conversation.
Yeah.
But let us know what you think in the comments below. What do you think it takes to develop closer and deeper connection with your friends? And what was the other topic we talked
Do you
about?
have like tendencies to be closer with people of the same gender as you or the opposite gender where you feel more comfort and like
Do you struggle?
yeah, and do you have moments of reflection where you think, why is that?
We can help.
No, we can't. No, we cannot.
We don't have the answers.
We don't have the answers.
Yeah. And I would encourage everyone to reflect on how you feel in the dynamics of feminine and masculine relationships and how you can grow from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Facts.
No pressure.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
I felt like you're gonna say it.
Yeah. Car, no wheels.
All right.
Mom,
You're cut off.
no dad.
Roll the end credits.
You're cut off.
That's so funny. All right, good job, guys.
Good job.